Central Oregon, family-owned business making tasty kombuchas.
People ask us, like, why did we name it Compassion-Kombucha? And I think, how can the decisions we make be impacted by elevating people and the planet?
The Bergs have been perfecting their recipe and their process for more than a decade.
Brewing at home since 2013, and we're using the same SCOBY. It's evolved, but has turned into all this.
Compassion Kombucha was launched as they were growing their family.
Right before I gave birth to our third child, so I was very pregnant that summer at the farmer's market, but we initially started at Northwest Crossing just to test the market.
Brewing their kombucha begins with simple, quality ingredients.
What I describe as the massive cheesecloths is what it looks like on the top of this, right? So you don't have a lid on it, and that allows things to sort of off gas. Is that kind of a good way to put it?
Yeah.
So what is in this tank right now?
I like to call it a sweet tea from the South. We're taking whole leaf black and green teas and steeping those just the same way you'd make a tea at home, adding organic cane sugar. You could drink that if you want, but if you want to put that into a tank here with a SCOBY, that's where the magic happens.
They're not just making something that's easy to drink, but they're making an impact with the product they sell, using tea from certified elephant-friendly tea farms.
In terms of our purchasing power, the tea that we used, we met the gal that started this organization at the Environmental Center at a presentation.
Oh, wow.
What's really impactful for us is that a lot of these tea plantations in India, elephants just want to roam through them, and they're not destroying the tea, but what happens is these tea growers, they start fencing in these plantations, and it causes the elephants to take unnatural routes, which then increases human-elephant conflict.
Wow.
So we were just so impressed by what they were doing, and then when we started making our kombucha with their tea, which is just like next level delicious, it just seemed like a no-brainer.
The tea and sugar are working together with the SCOBY to make some kombucha magic.
One other thing we have in these tanks is some kombucha from a previous batch. Also has all the good things that we want to kind of kickstart the next batch.
The tea mixture has been sitting in this tank with the SCOBY, so what do you call it now at this point?
Primary ferment.
Okay.
We're often looking for a balance of still some sweetness, so there is some of that original sugar remaining, but balancing that with some of the taste of the fermentation.
The secondary ferment is when they add in the flavor.
So why not use something like a puree or something that might be a little less, maybe labor intensive than cutting up a bunch of strawberries?
One of the things we found early on was that a juice or a puree oftentimes ends up putting maybe more sweetness in there than we want. What we found with the whole fruit, it's adding just flavor that people expect from a strawberry.
You'll only find organic ingredients under their label.
The whole fruit just like gives itself such a lighter mouthfeel. I feel like is just so much more palatable for like a wide range of people.
What was one of the first flavors that you guys tried?
Blueberry cherry.
It was, okay.
Because originally when we started at home, we would ferment in 16-ounce bottles. We'd have like a whole bunch of them, and then we would just pop berries in or fruit in the top. So blueberries and cherries were very convenient, and so that was one that we started.
Ooh. Yum. It's got like a little tartness, but not at all. It's very smooth.
There are a number of ways to enjoy.
What was the move to go over to having a canning option?
A couple reasons. We do have, I think, some of the breweries in different places in town. Kombucha is often a popular option for children.
Yeah.
And so it is a little nerve-wracking having children walking around with glass. And so having just a canned option, canning also makes it convenient to package places, go to the pool, things like that. So a little bit more of an on-the-go option.
In every can and bottle, you'll find a strong sense of work ethic and love.
Probably not the most likely people to start a kombucha business.
Right.
And so we probably haven't done things the most conventional way, but we've done it in a way that like we can manage growing our family and then just have kind of bootstrap this thing like through the school of hard knocks.
Right.
You know, and now here we are.
You can find Compassion Kombucha in a number of places and stores across Central Oregon. For another edition of Taste This, I'm Emily Kirk.